How's it going, folks? Excuse me, sorry. Circling up from the mosh pit, we are here to check out Fortune Spinner, a new Hololive English Myth original song. You've seen the shorts, Callie, Kiara, and Ina. Loved them. I thought Maury's was the funniest. If you haven't seen it, you know what I mean. And if you did see it, comment what you thought about her run at the end of the short in the comments, so I know how many of you didn't skip the intro. Anyway, we're just gonna check this out. 2 minutes, not even, a little bit more than 2 minutes. Let's see what this song is all about. Nice. Definitely sticking with Maury's comfort zone instrumentally.
There's an answer out there somewhere when the muses whisper truth or dare. The hands are free, play tug of war, but no one's keeping score. Set a course and be tenacious, cause the future is a game of chance. The chips are down, but I'll win. I play until I win.
So I think that's so interesting too. You know, we get these ladies, really continuing to talk about this idea of like, hey, we don't know what the future holds, which is true. Let's just pull back the curtain for a second. I legitimately forgot that it's only 3 of them in Myth right now. Because of how much they've collaborated with other people, it just, we've gotten this idea of Hololive being a whole family up to this point with multiple branches. So sometimes when I see them collaborating with other people, I forget that they're not part of their specific group anymore. So I was thinking as we saw the intros for this song between these 3, I was sitting there like, oh, well, when are the other videos going to come out? So I just say that to say it means a lot to me, at least, and I consider it, from a very authentic place for all of them to be like, hey, we're just going to keep being all in. The chips are down. There is risk, like anything, and we've taken some losses, but we're not backing away from the table. So
I'm not gonna give up now. The wheels of fortune circle back around, and you turn in the betting ring. A maze of outcomes drawing on a string, and fruit is tangled.
I just gonna say I do like, instead of just going a da 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 da, it's like a da 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 da. It just kind of, it lets that last line just kind of hang a little bit more. And obviously you would do that if you're aware of how to set up their connection with the instrumental so that you can have them go however long you want and then not have to jump right into the next line or overlap anything. So, no, come on, internet, please work with me right now. Please, I love you. Really? Bro, we're just jumping ahead. And we'll let it sit here for a little bit. How are you guys doing? Comment buffering if you got to this part of the video and you're not too impatient to jump ahead. Let's see how that audience retention goes. Because I saw less than 10% of you who watch my stuff are subscribed. Yes, I'm aware of that.
Tangled thread, I see what's up ahead. A wild chase, a fading pace. I got to try my luck, I'll spin and fade.
Nice. One thing I will say to also let this buffer a little bit more. Anyway, I'm always amazed because Maury has done so much to rub shoulders with electro swing and like jazz and stuff. I don't know anything about jazz. I really and truly don't. Most of it is not interesting to me. I don't like how freeform a lot of it is. It just doesn't sound good to me. Not to criticize any jazz musicians. They have more talent than I ever will. I get that. I'm just saying, from what I thought I'd heard with a lot of scat and a lot of like, like I've heard a lot of flavor that I don't always hear from Maury. And it sounds like, especially with Kiara kind of coming in, it just seems like you're almost just doing a broken up melisma instead of actually trying to scat. And that's not of criticism for it at all. It's just I'm curious because Maury was the one to bring a lot of the stylistic choice to these, to this song, but then also to her own music. I'm always curious to see like how much she's done with jazz, how much that might have been a big thing in Japanese music, because we know that's where a lot of her history lies. So I'm just so curious about that because it's something that I am woefully underfamiliar with. So if you guys know anything about jazz or like scat musicianship and that kind of thing, let me know in the comments. I would love to, kind of just think about that for a little bit. I like that kind of stuff. Okay, so I like that. So it's not just da 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 da. I mean, she did that, but especially for the last lines, it was like da 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 da. She added a little bit of singing to it, so it was more harmonic rap. I like that stuff. I like that.
It's never easy, and the outcome is a mystery. But these are fates we're betting on. Their threads unbroken. Call.
You know, the other thing too, the thread's unbroken, right? I think, let's pull back the curtain again. These 5 are all still friends. They all know of each other. They all communicate with each other. So there's nothing lost, right? Of course, we'd want them all to stay together and be a team. For me, I didn't really care, because the thing that always bothered me was, well, if we don't know where they are, we have no reason to know if they're here or not. You know what I mean? Did they just leave forever? Or are they still out there somewhere? Do they still communicate? What's going on? We want to know that. At least that's where I come from. So in looking at that, I think that does, again, speak more authenticity into what they're saying with like, hey, these are fates worth betting on. I myself have definitely been the kind of person to be nervous about trying something new because I have failed. And in my mind, I've failed pretty hard sometimes. And that sucked. And while I look back on that and be like, well, I've had more than enough resources and people in my life to help me get back on my feet and try again, that's never what you think about in the moment, because you always think that next risk is going to be too big for you. So, again, I like the sentiment here.
By flex and string, casting lost together at the start of everything.
Wait, hold on.
Broken, called to life by flex and string, casting lost together at the start of everything.
Ooh, casting lots together at the start of everything. We're putting all our stuff in together. We're all working together to get this out. Maybe it might not all work out for all of us in the end, but we all started this with the same goal in mind. And I think that's important in any sort of team dynamic you're working on. It might not always mean big success for all of us in the end. I mean, think of how many music groups now have one outstanding member, right? D12. Guys like Bizarre and a few people like that are still active in music, but Eminem is by far the biggest member of that group. Can't even be touched by anybody else, right? So in the same way, it's like, casting in your lot with everybody. Hey, as far as it depends on all of us, let's all put this in. I love that idea.
I'm not gonna give up yet. I spin back round with every chance I get. The wheel turns and the die is cast. The time has come for
Wait.
call to life by flex and string, casting lost to
Also, the fact that it's not just dice, but it's also D12s and that kind of thing, calling back to some of the tabletop games they played, I think that's very sweet. I think that's sweet.
together at the start of everything. I'm not gonna give up yet. I spin back
Okay.
round with every chance I get.
I thought they rhymed get with get. I was about to have a problem with the lyricist. Like, come on. You don't rhyme get with get. But yet and get, that's fine.
Wheel turns and the die is cast. The time has come for fate to change it fast. And this is black or red. I'm moving up ahead. Above the chance. A daring dance. I'll spin this thread of fate with my own hands. Ooh la la la.
Oh, spin the thread of fate. So like spinning it, like taking two pieces of a thread and spinning it. So you're creating the thickness of the cord. You're not just, also we're talking a roulette table, spinning the roulette table with your own hand. But when they're talking thread of fate, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't heard a spin on that kind of thing before.
I'm taking fate into my hands.
Was that Ina? That sounded like something Ina could have hit.
And through this tangled thread, I see what's up ahead. And through this tangled thread, I see what's up ahead.
Nice. Well, for those of you who saw the 3D show, because I know a lot of you guys did, tell me what your favorite part was in the comments. I didn't have opportunity to look at it. I just don't have time to watch that kind of stuff, which is why I really appreciate you guys giving me some info on it. Let me know in the comments on that. And that's all I gotta say about that. If you enjoyed this, please support the people who made this song. And that is all I gotta tell you. See you guys next time. Peace.